The results of the remilitarisation. There is no doubt that Hitler took a chance when he sent soldiers in. It was against the advice of the people around him, and he knew that if the French had attacked them, his army weren't strong enough to resist them. Also, his financial advisors, let alone his military, said the economic sanctions they will put on us if we do this will just cripple us, even though he was brave enough and strong enough to do what he wanted. Although he did say to his generals, if France do attack, you must turn around and run away immediately. All of the fears were justified. The sanctions would have crippled Germany. The French would have beaten them. But Hitler had judged his foreign relations perfectly. Germany could have been stopped, but there was no support for stopping them. Britain was satisfied that Germany was justified in what he was doing and was peaceful in its means. Germany had put forward this notion that all they wanted to do was to get their territory back and they would live in peace. There are 7 key outcomes or results in the remilitarisation of the Rhineland. They're in no particular order, but they give us a good insight as to what Hitler benefits or gets out of this event. Firstly, he had reversed another aspect of the Treaty of Versailles, and this gave him confidence to go further, to focus also now on the Polish corridor and Danzig, which can be seen quite clearly in this map. Danzig's there, and obviously the Polish corridor is that yellow area there. So that made his next, Rhineland's been sorted, his next focus was that area in the east. Secondly, Hitler had strengthened his own position back home. He had been proved right, people now had faith in him. He showed his nerve and his confidence. He signed the Rome-Berlin Axis with Italy, which is obviously a strong alliance. They then tested their strength together against General Franco in the Spanish Civil War, where at Guernica he was able to practice blanket bombing on a city and see the devastating effect it would have, which eventually was used on London. It now made Mussolini a friend rather than an enemy, and this was really useful for Hitler, because Mussolini had stopped Hitler when it came to the Anschluss with Austria, so now this piece of the jigsaw is in place. Maybe he can now go back to that. From Britain's perspective, she now begins to think, maybe this guy is up for some sort of military intervention, so we begin to start thinking about rearming in earnest. The French continued to build fortifications called the Maginot Line along the German border, assuming an invasion is due. And finally, the Rhineland proves that the League of Nations has no place, and it very quickly shows the end of the League, along with the Abyssinian crisis, that from now on, the League of Nations would have no credibility and basically was a dead duck.